We have entered the off season, 2025 season. We are officially on the path to the 2025 NFL season. Expectation. When you think about what this team needs to have going into 2025, the words that come to mind are expectation. We need to have expectation about who we are as a team, what our identity is going to be, how do we continue to build around our franchise quarterback, how do we continue to get better as an organization. It's about expectation. That's what the Panthers should be focusing on, is expecting to be better heading into this new season. You want to come into this season with an expectation that you're going to win. And that's exactly what the Panthers should be doing. Having that expectation that they're going to win. If you sit back and break down the 2025 season, how things unfolded and things transpired throughout this year, you know that there's a brighter side of football for this team. There's a tremendous upside when you're looking at where this team can be and where this team can go. The way that Bryce Young ended the season, the way that everything came together, the way that Dave Canales got this org and these players to buy in to what we want them to buy into to be successful for the future, you have to be excited about the direction that this team was going in. Coming into this season, everybody assumed that Dave Canales may not be the right guy for the job. You know, he was a one-time coordinator with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Everybody didn't believe in it. And early in the process, when Bryce Young was struggling in the beginning of the year, I thought the same thing. But where we are right now is exactly where we should be right now. We know that we have a franchise quarterback. You know that. You already know that you have one. If you don't believe in Bryce Young, you never will now. He's the answer. I think that he's only going to get better from here on out. I don't see him digressing. I think that he's going to continue to grow as a football player. I think that you have your running back. I think that you have your offensive line. Having your offensive line and your franchise quarterback are two of the biggest pieces that you need for a rebuild. You have to have those in place. You have to have your line. You have to have your franchise quarterback. That stuff has to be established if you're going to start beginning a true rebuild. We know that this rebuild should have taken effect or been taken in place several years ago. We knew that back then it should have been when it officially started, when Matt Rule got here. By now, the Panthers could be Super Bowl contenders if we would have officially started the rebuild back when we were supposed to start it. But we didn't. We made mistake after mistake after mistake after mistake to ultimately get you to a position where the rebuild technically started last season. You're on your third regime, right? But this regime has to be the regime to take us back to the promised land. 2015 was the last real season that any Panther fan had any kind of reason to celebrate. 2015. Fast forward, 2025, 10 years later, the Panthers are no closer to getting back to that Super Bowl appearance than they were in the 2016 season. Guys, I'm telling you right now, this offseason is the most important offseason in Carolina Panthers history. The most important offseason in Carolina Panthers history. This is going to be the offseason that's going to either change the trajectory of this team and really make us catapult to being contenders, or if the right decisions are not made, we could be put back even further years of being where we need to be. This offseason is the most important offseason in Carolina Panthers history. Believe me when I say this shit. This offseason right here. Because you have to remember something. You have your franchise quarterback on a rookie deal. You're having your franchise quarterback on a rookie deal. He's going into his third year of a 5-year potential rookie deal. You need to be able to compete while he's on a rookie deal. Or at minimum, you need to be able to put pieces around him while he's on the rookie deal. At minimum, you have to make the team a contender while your quarterback is on a rookie deal. You have to start drafting well. You have to bring in free agents. And I'm not talking about no Dollar Tree free agents. I'm not talking about no tier 2 or tier 3 free agents. No, you have to swing for the fences. You have to go all in. You have to show this fan base that you're serious about being a contender. Dan Morgan, Tilly, Dave Canales, David Tepper. It's time to show the world that this is a real team trying to turn the page. We're trying to turn the corner. You need to show the world that now. You need to have reason for this fan base to get excited again. Last year, Coach Prime said it best. This is probably one of Coach Prime's, shout out to Deion Sanders, this is probably one of Coach Prime's best sayings that he ever had. Last year, he instilled hope. That's what Bryce Young did for the Panthers last season. He instilled hope. This season, it has to be some type of expectation. It has to be. We have to make the moves that we need to make in order for us to take the next steps in the rebuild. But there are certain moves that we can make right now that can at least shorten the distance from being a contender, or maybe even catapult you, like the Commanders, from being a terrible team to a great team overnight. There are moves you can make. And you guys are probably wondering, Waves, what are those moves that the Panthers can make? Here we are. Shout out to everybody, man. Haven't been live since the end of the season. Wanted to come on here, man. I had a Saturday, some free time. Couple of us in here right now, man. Y'all go invite more people in this bitch. Y'all already know what time it is. Life is Just a Way podcast. Just popping on, man. Didn't do a lot of promotion behind this live. Just wanted to get on because I had some free time. But these are the moves that you can make. Okay? Number one, you are going to have to outbid the rest of the NFL for T. Higgins. You're going to have to outbid everybody else for T. Higgins. Outbid everybody else. You're going to have to offer him a deal that he can't turn down because you need a true number one wide receiver. You need it. You got to get you a number one wide receiver. So if I'm the Carolina Panthers, I'm outbidding anybody for T. Higgins. Make the money work. Make it work. The salary cap doesn't exist. Everybody that's always talking about the salary cap and these numbers, the salary cap can be manipulated in a lot of different ways. It's not something that it really doesn't exist because there's teams that always say that they have no salary cap, but always are signing some of the biggest free agents. You have to make the money work. You have to find a way. If you want this team to be a real contender, you're going to have to spend. Nobody's going to come to the Panthers off of good faith. Nobody's going to come to the Panthers off of face value. That's not going to happen. This has been a team that has been consistently losing. This has been a team that has shown inconsistency in leadership and ownership. Nobody's going to come to the Panthers just off of face value. That's not going to happen, right? So you can't be cheap this offseason. You can't even afford to be cheap this offseason. You're going to have to spend the money that is necessary for you to bring in franchise-altering players. That's what you're going to have to bring in. Franchise-altering players, not players, Adam Thielen at the end of career, a Clowney at the end of career, not these tier 2, tier 3 free agents. You're going to have to spend like you spent on that offensive line last year. You're going to have to spend on other positions like that as well. $100 million contracts. That's what you're going to have to do. You're just going to have to do that. And you find a way to make the money work. Everybody always talking about the Panthers only have $30 million in cap space. That number is not real. If you want to make the money work, you will find a way to make the money work. The Panthers cannot afford to be cheap in free agency. You need to bid with the best of them. You have to go get T. Higgins. You have to go get him. Bryce Young needs a true number one receiver. We've tried in the draft. We tried with Xavier Legette. We tried with really started with Terrace Marshall Jr. We tried with my man that we traded over to Dallas. I can't even think. Jonathan Mingo. We've tried with guys. We have not had any success with the guys that we picked in the draft. And look, Xavier Legette could come back and have a great year too. But you cannot hold your hat on that. You need to spend the money and pay whatever T. Higgins wants. $30 million a year. If that's what the fuck he's in the ballpark of, so be it. But at least you know you have a true number one wide receiver for your franchise quarterback for at least the next 4 years. You got to go do that. You just going to have to. You have to do that. And then on top of that, I'm doubling down. I'm either going to sign a Chris Godwin in free agency, coming off a major injury. He's coming off of a serious injury. He's also, getting up there in age, but he's the crafty veteran. And Chris Godwin has shown that when he's healthy, he's still one of the top wide receivers in the NFL. If I can get him, I'm doubling up. I'm doubling up. Also, you may think that I'm crazy for this too. I'm contacting the Rams to see what they want for Cooper Kupp. You probably can get Cooper Kupp right now for a 4th or 5th round pick. Seriously. He's already won a Super Bowl. Why not? Team him up with Adam Thielen. Let him be the white-on-white connection. Go and trade for him. Cooper Kupp still has some. Listen, he's only a couple years removed from a Triple Crown season. He just was in a situation where the Rams, unfortunately, don't need a lot of playmakers. They are a one wide receiver dependent system. So that's the reason why he's not fitting in with the Rams anymore. He can come here. Surround Bryce by talent. Surround him by fucking talent. That's what you need to do. Surround him with fucking talent. That's what we have to do. You do that. And I promise you, you can shorten this rebuild really, really short. You can cut this rebuild down by 2 to 3 years by making these kind of moves. This is not reaching. This is something that the Panthers never have done, but it's something that they need to do. Shit. I'm on the phone. If I'm Dan Morgan, I'm on the phone with everybody. I'm on the phone with every fucking body. I'm on the phone with Cleveland for Myles Garrett. I'm on the phone with Cleveland for Myles Garrett. What would it take? What would it take? Myles Garrett, to me, got robbed out of the Defensive Player of the Year. What would it take to get Myles Garrett to Carolina? They want the number 8 pick. So be it. So be it. I'm giving that number 8 pick for Myles Garrett. And then I'm locking him into a long-term deal. And then I'm locking him into a long fucking term deal. The Panthers need to be aggressive this offseason in order to turn this team around. It's going to take that. You cannot afford to be cheap if you're going to really be a true. Listen, the NFC South is fragile. I want everybody to understand that. The NFC South is very, very fragile right now. The Panthers are really in a position that if they make the correct moves, That means in free agency, they draft well, they make the right signings and re-sign the players that we need to re-sign, and Bryce can continue to grow off of the success he had the second half of the season. The Panthers are in position that every team in the NFC South has a question at quarterback outside of us right now, if you really think about it, and maybe the Falcons. But every other team, really think about it. Baker Mayfield in Tampa Bay is the only solidified quarterback in the NFC South. The Saints have questions at quarterback. The Falcons are starting will be starting a second year quarterback, and Bryce Young will be going into his third year. The Bucs only won this division with 9 wins. 9. That's all they won this division for. There's no juggernaut team in the NFC South. The Falcons don't have a defense. They don't have pass rush. Until they cure that problem, they're not going to be good. And the quarterback, he still has to develop. He was a rookie. He looks solid in games. I think that he has a ceiling. But at the end of the day, you really don't know how far that ceiling can stretch. The Panthers are in position where they may not be that far off from taking over division with the right moves. With the right decisions and the right moves, they probably are not that far away. They're probably not that far away. You need to get you a cornerstone player on defense. Via the draft, via free agency, doesn't matter if not both. You get you a cornerstone player on defense, preferably a defensive lineman, or a corner to put opposite of J.C. Horn. You do that, and Derek Brown comes back healthy. You can get Jonesy Jewell is already here. He had a good season. You're probably going to need to bring in some more linebacker help. The safety room is questionable at best, but you probably can draft a young safety to start developing them. And you really don't know how much more improved this defense is. You really don't know. On the offensive side of the ball, your offensive line is intact. Even Ekwonu, as bad he's been playing over the last couple of years, the rest of the line is so strong that he's being hidden. He's being hidden. He was not detrimental to the offensive success this year. He was not detrimental to it. So you keep him. The guards, arguably the best guard combo in the NFL. Robert Hunt, Pro Bowler. The offensive line is intact. You have a 1,000-yard rusher. You have that already. Chuba Hubbard. You have that. You have a capable, young, upcoming receiver coming up. You have a young, capable wide receiver. Y'all know who I'm talking about. Coming up that was undrafted, that nobody thought that was going to be solid. But Coker has shown that he can be a solid wide receiver weapon. I think that if you put a true number one wide receiver, a T. Higgins, with Adam Thielen, a Coker, you have a solid listen, Jatavian Stevenson, or Sanders, I'm sorry, Jatavian Sanders. He's going to be the real deal. He's going to be the real deal for the Panthers. He's going to be a real deal pass-catching tight end that can be a good target for Bryce Young. Him and Bryce Young already showed chemistry last year. Give him another year under his belt. Tommy Tremble, same thing. He's still a solid. Your tight end room is looking probably the best it's looked since Greg Olsen. But you have a young tight end on a rookie deal that I think that he's promising. You get a T. Higgins, a Stevenson, or a Sanders, a Coker, a Adam Thielen, and then Leggett, you have a formidable offense for the 2025 season. That is a formidable offense for the 2025 season. That's formidable. You can win with that offense. That offense can win. You can win with that offense. Everybody stays healthy. The offensive line is set. We don't need to make any moves on the offensive line right now. It's set. Stick with the offensive line. Allow them to continue to build camaraderie. And I promise you, this team could very much be a 7 to 8 win team, if higher, next season. Next season. I'm not talking about 3 or 4 years down the road. This could be a 7 to 8 win. We're jumping from 2 wins to 7 or 8. That is a tremendous turnaround. It's not as far-fetched. I had to really sit back and think about it. It's not far-fetched. It's not far-fetched. So something that we think that might have been further away than we assumed, it might be closer than what we think. The NFC South is fragile. It is fragile. There's a lot of opportunity still here. The Saints are an aging team. They are a very aging team with questions at quarterback. Derek Carr is not the answer there. They're going to get a new coach. They still haven't even hired their coach yet. We're in February, almost mid-February, and the Saints still don't even have a head coach. You got the Falcons. They still got a young quarterback and still have no pass rush. They still have no pass rush. And they still have no quarterback. They're starting a young quarterback. Is he going to be like that? The Tampa Bay Bucks, another aging roster. Mike Evans is going into what? Year 12? Chris Godwin is getting up in age. He's a free agent. Some of them pieces on the defensive side are starting to get there up in age. Levante David. It's an aging team. The opportunity is there for the Panthers, which leads me to the conversation of what this live is about. The Panthers are picking at number 8 in the draft. I don't know if we're going to be able to get Abdul Carter. I don't know if Abdul Carter is going to be available at number 8. Most mock drafts have him going. I'm going to drop the link out there, man, just in case anybody want to pull up. Most mock drafts have him going in the top 5. I've even seen mock drafts where he's going number 1 overall. I don't know if he's going to be there at 8. I highly doubt that he'll probably be there at 8. So what do you do? Maybe you take Will Johnson from Michigan. Maybe he's an option. A good corner, best corner coming out the draft, has the potential to be best player out the draft. That's the kind of potential that he has. You put him opposite of J.C. Horn, and maybe you've figured out your 2 starting corners for the future. Got to get J.C. Horn paid. That's number 1 priority this offseason to me. You got to get J.C. Horn locked up to a long-term deal. It got to get done this offseason. Like there's no way that you don't pay J.C. Horn. Got to get him paid. So you can't you got to do that. But I think with this pick, unless the Panthers trade back, what do you expect from Jonathan Brooks? DJ Free, I'm gonna be honest with you, man. I don't think Jonathan Brooks is even gonna be ready for the start. I don't even think he's gonna be ready for the start of this upcoming season, man. I really don't, man. It's super unfortunate about Jonathan Brooks, but I really just don't see him. What up with it, Zulu King? What up with everybody, man? Shout out to everybody pulling up to the chat. I just don't know if Jonathan Brooks, man, is going to be ready for 2025, the start of this season. I think, man, he's probably realistically, man, we probably won't be able to get another good look at him until the 2026 season. The Panthers need to take their time with him. I don't think that, they need to try to rush him back. He needs to take all the time that he needs, man, because I would hate for this young man's career. It's already being derailed 2 seasons with, knee injuries, man. So I would hate for the Panthers to rush him back and, he potentially gets injured again, man, and ruins this man's career. So be patient with him. Take as much time as he needs. If he needs all of this season off as well, you got to allow it, right? And if he just doesn't bounce back or he can't get healthy by that 2026 season, I think you just got to say that you missed on it, man. That's just one of those things that you kind of have to buck. I hate it because the guy, I think he's a talented kid. I think he has a really high upside. I liked him when he was at Texas, but again, man, injuries, they can kill your career. So that's it. That's where I'm at with Jonathan Brooks, man. Hoping that he get a speedy recovery and he bounce back pretty quick. But where was I? Will Johnson probably going to be there at number 8. Probably going to be there at number 8. I think that you have to go defense in this draft. Like this has to be a defense dominated draft, guys. Like we just got to get better on that side of the ball. We're too bad on that side of the ball. We got to get better on the defensive side of the ball, guys. So if I'm at number 8, I'm taking the best defensive player available. Will Johnson right there at 8. I think I'm pulling the trigger on it. I'm bringing him in to Carolina. Same place we took J.C. Horn, number 8. 2 corners at number 8. You team him up with J.C. Horn. You probably have maybe you can re-sign number 2 from last year. Maybe you bring him in to be a solid 3rd corner. But yeah, I think you got to go defense right there. Now, if you're not able to get the best defensive player right there, some people have called me crazy for this. Others haven't. But I think right there, if you're unable to land a T. Higgins or a premier free agent, maybe you're not able to trade for Cooper Kupp, Mike Green at 8. You heard it first. Mike Green. Who the fuck is that? I think who is Mike Green? Name not ringing a bell right now. Mike Green. Defensive lineman from Marshall. Okay. I don't know, man. He had 17 sacks last year. He balled out, man, but I haven't really been seeing him high on any kind of draft boards. Haven't really been seeing him too high out there, so I'm not really sure about him. I think I have heard about him, heard a little bit about him, but not too much about him. Not too much. I'm not reaching at number 8. I'm not reaching there. I'm not reaching at number 8. I won't reach there. I'm gonna if I can't get the best defensive player available, if one person is on the board at number 8 offensively, and that's Tatora McMillan, wide receiver out of Arizona. I'm taking McMillan from Arizona, the wide receiver at number 8. We haven't drafted a wide receiver that high in a long time. I'm taking McMillan from Arizona. McMillan from Arizona. If I can't get the best defensive player there at number 8, I'm going wide receiver. I got to get Bryce some fucking weapons. He needs it, man. Bryce Young. We need weapons for Bryce on the offensive side of the ball. He's flying up draft board. Yeah, man. I'm gonna take him out. I'm pretty sure at the combine, he'll hopefully he'll stand out a little bit at the combine. I'm gonna definitely go check him out some more. But yeah, man, that's kind of how I feel. In my mind, there's only 2 franchise-changing defensive players in the top 10. Mason Graham is more of an interior lineman. I don't think that. I mean, we obviously need run stopping, but I also feel like that in the system that we run in this 3-4 scheme, you really need your linebackers to be great. So I think that we get better linebackers that'll really help with the run stopping. You got to remember, we're running a 3-4. So I would honestly say, personally, I would take Will Johnson, or I'm trading up to get Carter. Or I'm trading up to get Carter. If I believe in Carter that much, if I think that Carter can come in here and change my franchise around, I'm trading the fuck up for him. If I think Carter can change my franchise, listen, I'm being aggressive, man. Fuck that timid shit. Fuck that. If there's somebody that you feel can change your organization around, trade up and go and get them. Go and get them. Go and get him. But my problem is I think that he may potentially go number 1. I don't know if Tennessee Titans is going quarterback, man. I really don't know. I don't know if the Titans are going QB. I got a feeling that they're going to shock the world and either go Travis Hunter or they're going to go Abdul Carter, number 1 overall. And I also believe that Cam Ward is probably going to go before Shedeur. I don't know why I have that feeling. I just think that I think Cleveland is definitely going to go quarterback. I think that they probably will go quarterback at number 2. They might go Cam Ward at number 2. I would not be surprised by that at all. But yeah, man, I'll do a little bit more research on Mike Green, man. I definitely heard about him throughout the season, but I didn't watch him in any games or anything like that. So I would obviously have to see some tape. But yeah, I will see him fly up draft boards. I'm trying to find different mocks, just to see what the latest mocks are looking like. So in PFF's Pro Football Network's mock draft, they have Tennessee taking Cam Ward number 1. They have the Browns taking Shedeur Sanders. The Giants taking Mason Graham. The Patriots taking Travis Hunter. That's kind of the one that I was seeing, earlier on. Those were the ones that I was seeing like earlier on in the draft process where they were talking about, 2 quarterbacks going early and things, but I'm not so sure no more. But guys, this was going to be a short live. I really just wanted to come on here, man, and let everybody know we do have mock drafts that I am going to do. Those will be coming up probably as we get closer to the draft in April. Right now, I want to see what moves the Panthers make in free agency before I start doing mock drafts, because I just feel like the need kind of will change based on what we do in free agency. So I want to get free agency out of the way, and I will come with a free agent live, but I want to get free agency out of the way first before we start doing mock drafts. because I have to see what the Panthers what they're able to do in free agency before I can really say for sure who I think they're going to take. Right now, I'm going defensive side of the ball no matter what. I think that's priority number one. Best defensive lineman available, best corner available. I think that those are the two biggest priorities right now. I don't think that there's a linebacker good enough to go in the top 8, but there's definitely some game-changing corners and game-changing defensive linemen. And if this regime is not sold on any of those guys, and whoever's left are not on the board, then go ahead and just take a wide receiver. Go draft Bryce some weapons. I mean, that's kind of where I'm coming from with it. But we will be live again, guys. I know this was a short one today, man. This was going to be a short one. Had some free time, wanted to come over here and show everybody some love. We will be live again coming up soon. Super Bowl predictions. I'm going to go ahead and get that out today. I think that you can't bet against the Kansas City Chiefs. The Eagles definitely have the team to win it, but I would never put my money against the Chiefs. I just never put my money on there. So everybody have a safe Super Bowl, man. Until next time, Life is Just a Wave podcast. Appreciate it, man. If you're new to the channel, make sure you hit the like button. Make sure y'all subscribe. Till next time, servers, be easy.